How's it going, everyone? John Cope again from Cope Racing Transmissions, and today we're going to take the SFI case that we have, which is the only one here in the United States, the first one that came to us, and it is in my truck, and I'm on my way to a friend's house who's got a 69 or a 70 Dodge Charger with stock floorboards, and we're going to do a little test fitting. And then I'm going to just see how bad this is going to fit. And I know it's not going to come nowhere near it with stock floorboards. But we need to check it out and see how it's gonna go. So stick around and come along, and we'll show you how it fits or how it doesn't fit with stock floorboards and a 70B body. Why don't we test this case in this car? Oh, that'd be cool. There's Chris. How's it going, Chris? Boy, it looked like you had a good time down there in what was that, Atlanta?
Yeah, we went to Atlanta first, and then we went over to Talladega.
Talladega, yeah.
Yeah, we did both tracks.
Did you meet my friend Wayne Smothers?
Yeah.
I told him which car you were driving. Right. He goes, "Oh, that one's gonna be easy to pick out." Right.
Well, the dump now, it shouldn't be very heavy, huh?
It's a little bit heavy. I'll get it.
You sure?
Oh, look at this guy. Well, you might drop it. I'm a little funny.
Funny guy. We'll have to tip this because it's going to be the same thing. That tail shaft over the H pipe.
You know, I wanted to test first.
What's that?
Because it's not going to fit. I know it's not going to fit.
Yeah.
I wanted to take the bell housing off and just put that up there and see how bad it was.
Oh, you want to take the bell housing off?
Yeah.
You want to just see how it fits around?
I want to see if this gets in the way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because that's even with the engine tilted back, so it's definitely going to hit like up there in that corner.
Look at how tight that is.
Yeah, it is tight.
There's one valve head. There's the other valve. Whoop, I don't want to scratch the car. There's no way the case is going to fit.
No, you definitely have, because even like up in here, it's because the motor's tilted back already a little bit, you know what I mean?
Do you have the 7/16 bell bolts? They'll be the long ones that come in from the back. They're the 5/8 headed one. Those are 9/16, 3/8. It's the bigger of the two. Or give me that 9/16 one. I'll see if I can just put one in there.
Sure, let's try that.
Oh, there you go.
Do one on the other side.
Yeah, this is good.
You need one more for the other side?
I should be able to keep that there.
What'd you say, it's 5/8?
Yeah, if you put a 5/8 swivel on there, it'll stay up there. On this side, just barely snug it. Yeah, that'll work. That is way too big. Let me snap a couple pics. Where's my...
Yeah, because it's, you know, not only in the rib area is it going to hit, but it's going to hit up here you know. I mean, they could machine the ears down more.
Yeah, and I actually think it needs to be completely redesigned because these are too far out.
Did you have this made just to see?
I didn't make it.
No. Well, I mean, you had it made? Somebody made it for you, or?
The people that made it came to me
Oh, okay.
and asked me to test fit it.
Right.
Can I use your light, Chris? Just wanted to do a couple. Instead, because they get in real tight
Oh, yeah.
corners. Boy, this car's nice under here.
Yeah, it's as nice on the bottom as it is on the top.
Yes, sir. She's a beauty. All right, I'll just get one more shot of this here. It looks a lot deeper down here too.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna try to put that case in there because.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely gonna hit. You know.
And I'm not scratching your car. We know it has to be redesigned.
Yeah.
Okay. FI, the company that makes this, has came down FI, the company makes this, was at my shop Monday for a couple hours. We were talking about it, and he showed me some early designs that had a much smaller radius where the bell housing bolts to the case, and this thing is just huge. I mean, in a truck, in a van, a full-size truck and a full-size van, it would be fine, but not in stock floorboard AB&E, certainly not in Dakotas or anything like that. I know the Dakotas are really tight too. So he wanted me to actually take this case and cut it and then send him pictures of it cut in the fit. But when I was there with Chris, I helped him put his original transmission up in there. So I just think it's a waste of time to take this and just cut it. He was like, cut it. I'm like, I don't know if that's gonna work. You know, I mean, it'd be one thing if I put it on my mill and I did a nice job of removing it, but he's got another design, and he showed me that design. I'm gonna message him. He's still in the States for 2 more weeks. I'm gonna message him and say, hey, could you send me pictures? And I thought there were AutoCAD looking style drawings of the design. That way I can show you guys. And I'm sure that this wind, let me roll up the windows, because I'm sure the wind is going to make for a hell of a noise. GoPros are real sensitive to wind. I'm going to turn a little air conditioning on. Believe it or not, it's kind of warm out. Today we didn't have no electricity when I got to the shop. Actually, the whole town of Lowell was out without electricity. So I just was doing valve bodies in the dark. I don't care. I'll still work. But anyways, back to the case. I'm gonna get a hold of him and see if he'll send me some pictures. He showed them to me on his phone, so he can text those to me real easy. But it looks like to redesign this is going to take so much. I mean, I'm not sure how big this company is or what they can do, but if they have an earlier design that they made for the 48RE that the converter didn't fit, and the bolt pattern is much closer to the outside of the pump, these are pretty far away, this bolt pattern, and they'll use smaller bolts. So I'll get in contact with him and we'll see if we can get those. It's Thursday and I'm back at CRT. I decided I might as well try and put both the case and the bell housing with the stock 727 tail housing in my Coronet. Full disclosure, my Coronet's got modified floors. I only modified the floors to clear the CSR shield. Also, back in the early 90s, I had a transmission explosion in this vehicle. So the floors had to be replaced from the original repair I did in 1992. Some of you may have noticed that I got a Gen 3 Hemi in here, and that the big block bell housing that I have on this transmission is not going to bolt to that. I'm not worried about physically bolting the transmission to the engine. I just want to get it up there just so I have some kind of a sense of where this case and bell housing is going to be in a B body with modified floors. Even with the modified transmission tunnel and a few spots of the floor that I modified, this transmission case and bell housing is still going to be a concern to me as far as fitment. I mean, I can probably, do a little tapping on the floor to make this okay, but there's just, it's quite obvious there's no way that it's going to fit. There's no way it's going to fit with stock floors. It's going to have to be redesigned or changed. Now, I've tried explaining this to the manufacturer that makes this case and bell housing, that it's just not going to fly. It would be almost best to actually start fresh and make a 727 case out of a 727 case instead of trying to make a 48RE case fit the 727. I mean, I know what they were trying to do, but in a truck application, that'd probably be just fine. But in a car, an A, B, or E body, it's not practical. And I've brought this to their attention, and there's a communication gap because they speak Chinese, I speak English, and it's just I feel like I'm trying to explain what's going on, and I'm not getting the response that I had hoped I would get from them. This trans case is supposed to be available to the public by the first of the year. And there's major changes that have to be done on the part of the manufacturer. I don't know anything about them as far as, how many, what do they have for engineers or anything. There's a little bit of frustration I've been getting with just trying to deal with them and communicate with them just on a very basic and simple level. The problem is, I don't know if it's the culture or I know there's a language barrier. It's hard to explain. I just feel like I'm getting nowhere, you know, and I'm like, you know, this needs to be done and that needs to be done, and it's the response is nothing like I get. It's like trying to explain a car thing to a non-car person, or try to explain a transmission thing to someone who's not a transmission builder. Or, I mean, anybody who actually does transmissions for themselves in their backyard for their own race car could see the obvious things that need to be changed. And, you know, I don't, you know, I'm trying to be diplomatic about this, I guess. There's things that need to be changed, and I think there's just so much to get that case, the fitment, correct. You know, I have a friend who's got a, I don't know if it's a B1 or what motor it is. He's got a big block and a dart with a reed case and a turbo 400 that fit perfect in the floor. You know, and I tried explaining that to them, and it just, I just feel like I'm getting nowhere. You know, I wanna, I guess, lend a hand to help them, give them some advice, but I can't be the one to design and, you know, be the engineer for the whole thing. So right now, at this point, I feel like I'm in limbo. I have the case. I recommended what has to be done, and a couple things they agreed, like the neutral switch hole was for a 48RE, which takes a different switch than the 727. They're like, okay, that's obvious. We'll take care of that. The rear support did not fit in the back of the case. It was obvious. Yes, we'll fix that. That's the kind of response that it feels good. It's like, okay, I told them what I found, and boom. I would hope that they would have found that there, but okay, whatever. You know, you know, I don't know. It's, some changes are going to have to be made. And if they make those changes and then send us another case and we try it, okay. Till we hear from the manufacturer of the case, right now, this deal's in limbo, the way I see it. I mean, I'm not the one to make the call on that. I'm just telling you, me trying to fit this in, you know, and when I tried to put in that charger, there was no way I was going to be able to get the case and the bell. So that's why I'm like, okay, well, let's just try the bell and see where it's at. Now, that engine was tipped down a little bit. Once you would jack it up to where it's sit level, it's just not going to fit. It's too big. You know, it's not like it needs just a little bit of tweaking. It is just too damn big. So, I mean, it's a great case. I got one here for a diesel. You know, I got a diesel case here. I got the 720, which is a 48RE case. I got a 727 case. And they're working on a small block bell housing. Thanks for watching. More power to you.